corporate come from? Your sales. So who pays for it? The customer. They buy products from Mary Kay Consultants. Mary Kay Consultants order products from Mary Kay Corporate. Customers pay his salary. It's business. It's how business is run. I didn't have a lot of business experience, so I'm going to tell you what my business experience was. I was 13 years old, and I had a friend say, hey, I found this great thing we can do. And some of you young people won't know what this is, but this guy has this ice cream, popsicles, fudgesicles, ice cream things, and the old carts don't hook up the three-wheel. So we went down in the morning, this guy's got 10 carts. And you check out an inventory, he puts dry ice in. I have to have money up front. I have to know how to count money. I've got a little changer. And I walk through the streets of Midland, Michigan with my popsicles, fudgesicles, and ice cream bars. And I yell, popsicles, fudgesicles, ice cream bars, jingling my bells. People would come to my cart, usually mothers with their children, and I would have sales. How well do you think I would have done if I would have said to them, you pay me today and I'll bring you a popsicle tomorrow? I don't think I'd have done very well. At the end of the day, I have to go back, and I had no territories. I could walk anywhere in the streets of Midland, Michigan, about 30,000 people. And then I would have to pay for the inventory that wasn't there. I would check it in, and what was left was mine, cash. I'm 13 years old. I did that one summer, and we moved, and then I got a job delivering papers for the Detroit Free Press in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, 7 days a week. And they would deliver my inventory into my driveway, and I folded them, and I went to an apartment complex, and I walked 5 or 6 streets around our house. And then I would have to go collect money. And then I would go down to the Midland Daily News, and I would have to pay for my inventory at the end of the week. You know, there are still people that owe me money. They would leave, and they wouldn't pay. They would just move. Great lesson. Raul mentioned lesson learned. I did that for 3 years. And then, between my junior and senior year, I needed some extra credit, and my one friend said, take this class in retailing. He said, it's a great class, the teacher's great. So that summer, I take a class in retailing. Theory, how you build a business. Money, inventory, you have to add and subtract. Fortunately, I could add and subtract. And I liked the instructor, so in my senior year, I took retailing 2. Part of that class is I had to work in the school store for 1 week. Inventory, product leaving, up and down. That's the extent of my business before Jude started. And then I become an hourly worker and a ball player, because that's what I did. And then she wants to start a Mary Kay business. Here's what men deal with business. Cosmetics. Every day after I brush my teeth, comb my hair, and shave, from here up, I look exactly the same every day. I can put on different clothes, and my total appearance is different, but from here up, I'm the same. I want to ask you a question. Does she look 76 years old?
No.
Mm-hmm. Okay. She didn't look like that this morning.
Whatever.
I was supposed to say that? Here's the difference. She can look one way early in the morning, and then she can put her makeup on, and then she can look she can change her colors throughout the day. Okay? All the years I was hunting and fishing, and at night we play cards, and some of the guys like to drink beer. Yeah. Not one time in all the years did any of those men ask me, about my skin. Your skin is so radiant. Your eyes just sparkle. Men face the world differently. Okay? So, you got a basic introduction. I'm not only the husband of, but I'm the father of a top director. Lisa just picked up her 12th car. How does that woman right there go from a high school education to an independent national sales director? Got a high school degree. Our daughter has a college degree. And she lived with us, and she finished her college, and she got a corporate job. But from 8 years old, she's been in the Mary Kay world. She travels with Jude, and she got into ice skating, and she couldn't have picked a high school sport. She had to pick the most expensive sport out there. Skates, $200 a pair. She has to have two. Pro time, ice time, travel time. But she had a mother that could change her schedule around. And she would go to Cleveland, she'd go there, and Lisa was involved in competition. Well, when you're young, you only know what you know. And she didn't know that she had a spectacular mother. Because you don't know that. She's just mom and dad. I can't afford that with what I'm doing. But she could. Okay? And so the other day I called Lisa, and because I knew we were coming here, and I said, how does Mary Kay faring out in the world right now? She said, I'm going to send you something. And she sends me this. I'm going to read what it says. #1 direct selling brand of skincare and color cosmetics in the world. So I called her and I said, thanks. And I said, in the world. I'm going to give you a great story about my granddaughter. Oh, I think I have a picture of them. I don't know if you'll all be able to see it or not, but this is our daughter and our granddaughter. She starts as a freshman at Grand Valley State University. These two people and this woman are extremely important to me. Randy has already indicated this company is special. Now, when I started going to seminars and stuff, I didn't know what it was, but I said, something's different. And I couldn't put my finger on it. And it's already been talked about a few times up here. I saw it last night. I've seen it here, and it's QFC. And it's the driving force besides the product that makes Mary Kay special. Do any of you know what QFC is? Do you want to know?
Yes.
Quality female companionship.
Oh.
I can't give it to them. Men can't give it to them. But what I've learned from listening to thousands of women over the last 48 years, I don't like crying like a little schoolgirl, but it may happen. It's important for these three people in their full development. Quality female companionship. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm going to take you back to 1976. And Terry lives in Decatur, Illinois, and she keeps calling Jude every month, thinks she's a good prospect for Mary Kay Cosmetics. Jude said, my plate's full. I can't pick up anything. Taking care of it's a full-time, she was not trained to be a full-time nurse, but she became one. And so she's calling Jude. And if Jude does anything, we have to make special arrangements so somebody's with her mother all the time. So she was going to go, she was invited to a birthday party, and she went, so we made arrangements for somebody coming to be with her mother. And at that party, she heard someone ask her friend Lana to be a guest at a skincare class. And she said, can I come too? He said it's an out-of-body experience. She just wanted to know what Terry was talking about, because she didn't know. And she had a perception of what was going to take place. That someone would stand up in front of a group, talk about a product, and then at the end, you would order products. Does that make that? That's what was her mental picture. She didn't know there was going to be a place at the table with a mirror sitting on a box, and it was going to be an interactive experience. Now, I wasn't there. I did drop her off, and we had made arrangements for her mother, and she promised me she wouldn't buy anything. She just wanted to find out what was going on, and she said, you know what happened. You already know what happened. She said, she taught me how to take care of my skin. We took her makeup off, put it on, my skin, I felt my skin. I went, great. And then the consultant was trained high. This is just a consultant in our town. I don't know her. She was trained. They closed individually, not at the table. And so she took, the other women stood at the table, and she went in, and she had to carry the box that was underneath the mirror. Guess what was in the box? The complete. Jude thought it was to hold the mirror up, so she could. So she took the box with her, and she told this consultant that she didn't know, but this consultant had spent like 2 hours with her, and she got a good feel from Jude. And Jude said to her, because she could pay for half plus retail tax, schedule an appointment where she could get some hostess credit. And she told the consultant, I'm going to write you a check, but it's not good. I'll make it good tomorrow. And she scheduled an appointment at our home. And she brought it, and she said the only way that I could say no, I had to give that box back to her. The strategy, the marketing strategy is genius. Because she said to me, after she experienced everything, taking her makeup off and the skincare and the color, and she was able to look at the girl in the mirror. You understand the strategy there? And because here's the difference. I'm a bar of soap guy, and I never became emotionally attached to that bar of soap. I didn't understand. Most men don't. There's no reason for us to. So she comes home and confesses, and I said that, it's fine. And she became a customer. And then Terry's calling her every month, checking on her. And one month she called and said, Fred and I are going to buzz up for the weekend. It's a 9-hour drive. It's not a buzz. I had the opportunity to work overtime, and I took it. I had to be to work at 5 in the morning, and it would have been at 7 at night. It was a 12-hour shift. And I figured that they drove through the night from Decatur, Illinois. Showed up at 7 or 8 in the morning. I'm gone already. So somewhere that afternoon, I called and said, how's it going? And here's what she said to me. I'll never forget this. I think this is something I might be able to do. She was a customer. She understood the connection between her and her cosmetics. Does that make sense? And I said, Jude, you've never done anything like this before in your life. What makes you think you can do this? I didn't know anything. But here's what I knew about the drug selling industry. They wanted us to invest money. I didn't want to do that. Is that fair? I didn't want to do anything. So I finished and she gets off the phone and tells Terry that. John's right. I've never done anything like this. And she said Terry had to start at the beginning. And because it's at our home, they were able to take care of Jude's mom. So she just keeps talking to her. So I get home that night, and she meets me. I pull a car into the garage. She meets me at the door and says, "Please keep an open mind." I'd like to be able to tell you what I was thinking right then, but I can't do that at Mary Kay event. So I listened for 3 hours to Terry, and she said she did a couple of key things, and I did have some retailing background theory. I understood inventory for my popsicle route, for my paper route. Try before you buy. I'm going to ask you a question. How do you on the spot deliver something you don't have?
Thank you.
I understood inventory. And she went through and she had some numbers. You'd want to hold a couple appointments a week. Here's a general idea, if you hold a couple appointments a week, what you can bring in. So I said, and I could see she wanted to try this. But I want to make sure I get time. In my mind, I'm sitting there, because I asked Terry, I said, what would it take to set her up for success? And because of my athletic background, it's what are you willing to do up front to give yourself a chance to be a winner? Make sense? I had coaches pound that into me. What are you willing to do off season to set yourself for next year? I understood, she covered the marketing plan, and they had a little something in their marketing, the contract, that you could send back any unused product for 1 year and get 90% buyback. I'm just thinking, this is going through my mind. As I said, Terry, how much would it cost for her to have some inventory so she could hold 2 appointments a week? And back then, it was $1,200 star order. Terry says, I think this is where we got to start. $1,200 order, tax on the retail, and some section 2, about $1,400. I wasn't pulling money out of our savings because it was going down. We were building our life on a 2 lifestyle income, and we were on 1 income. She's taking care of her mother. Yeah, they didn't give her long to live, so she was just going to go back to work after her mother passed away. Her mother was getting better. She lived for 7 years.
Wow.
The doctors weren't right. They were wrong. But she was an in-home environment with grandchildren. She was a teacher. She was in a hospital bed, but she would come in, and they would come into her room, and she would read to them. They'd watch TV with her. If we'd have sent her to a nursing home, I think that they'd have been right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I forgot where was that. We're back. I'm figuring out. So if my wife never sells, okay, thanks. I'm an hourly worker. If my wife never sells 1 jar, now I was smart. I'm not real smart, but I was smart enough not to say that. If she tries this and never sells 1 jar, how much is it going to cost me? And she has to send it all back. So we took out a $2,000 loan. Her payment was $93 a month. She thought she could sell $93. That's all she had to do, was bring in $93 a month. But she had to do a training week. And she came from Dow Chemical, and when Dow Chemical said there's a training week, there's a training week.
Oh, yeah.
There's no getting out of it. So her training back then, she had to hold 5 appointments in 1 week, a short period. Mary Kay Ash knew that. You can go from scared out of your mind to 5 appointments later with some confidence. I saw, but after she left corporate, I saw a woman who was pretty competent go down, but her self-confidence kept going down. So Terry's coming back to hope. She did schedule 6 appointments, 4 to be held at our home that week, and 2 somewhere else. And I said, I'll stay home, take care of your mother and kids. Terry was going to hold the first appointment. She was going to do it as an observer, not a participant. And then that night, she was going to hold her first appointment, and hold the rest, her training week 5. And after Terry left, her total sales, I think, were just a little over $7. Oh, $6.50. But she got a couple of bookings. She didn't care. She was glad it was over, and that she said, I'm not feeling really well. I think maybe I should cancel this one tonight. I don't want these women to get sick. Fortunately, she had a spectacular husband and said, absolutely not. You could quit tomorrow, but these are with wives I play ball with.
Oh.
She included me in this. I knew these people that are coming to our home. Well, she was scared. I knew what it was. She was scared. So she holds the appointment. She said she didn't remember anything. But one of the things she did, I talked about it last night at dinner, she thought she needed to hear the words come out of her mouth. So she put teddy bears around the dining room table and did a skincare class with teddy bears. There were no objections. She needed to hear the words. So that was part of her training. What do you do up front to set yourself up for the win? She did finish, 2 minutes, okay. She did finish her week, and she had just a little over $600 in sales, and we borrowed $2,000 and $550. She had over $1,100 in her checking account, her business checking account. It wasn't her money. It was her business's money. I learned that in theory. Okay. Well, she did product. She put an order in. And she got bookings, and she kept, I was there, two appointments, every week after week. And she was putting an appointment, or she's putting an order in every week. Sue Kirkpatrick saw that, and she decided to come up because there are commissions paid. Who pays for the commissions? Customers pay for the commissions. It's how business works. And so Sue decides to come up, and her and her husband, and they bring her 3 kids. I don't know these people. And they're doing a workshop. And Kirk takes me aside, and he starts explaining things. I think you should go to seminar. I didn't want to go. It's all women almost. I lost a bet. I went. And that's when I discovered QFC. I didn't pinpoint it last. But it was interesting. I'm going to close with this, right? Building your network marketing business. Quite a few years ago, I ordered a CD from Jim Rohn. Has anybody ever heard of Jim Rohn? I know you have. I gave her an assignment last night. She went home and listened. Working full-time to make your bills, working part-time to build your fortune. Jim Rohn. But here's one of my favorite quotes from Jim Rohn. He said, because this CD, it's an hour and 7 minutes, and it's a Mary Kay business. And he said he was an amateur on the Bible. And he said, when the master teacher was asked, how do you achieve greatness? The master teacher said, find a way to serve the many, for service to many leads to greatness. Doesn't say you're going to be great. It says it leads to greatness. Do you find it interesting that Mary Kay Ash found a way to serve the many? Voted one of the greatest female entrepreneurs in American history. Rose died in 2001, is still serving the many in an industry that never suffers, and I'm going to prove it to you. And then I'm done. My time is over. This tells you everything you need to know about the cosmetic industry. This is our granddaughter, about 5 years old. And she's putting on makeup with her friend. And Lisa snapped the picture. I went, thank you, Lisa. Her friend, mother, is also a consultant. Little girls start playing with makeup forever. And if you're a man, this will actually be the last thing I say. If you're a man and you badmouth the industry, when you die, unless you're cremated, you get a makeover.